Hello, I'm Guy, and this is Guy Robot. Hello, and welcome to the latest instalment of my blockchain Bonanza. I'm going to be talking about mining today, but just a quick recap of why I'm doing this rather than necessarily my usual content on kind of open source and builder maker type stuff. Well, I've spent the last month getting a new startup up and running called the Smart Investment Fund, which is a project based on top of the Ethereum network. I was originally going to do just a few videos on kind of how to do the development for it, but I thought it might be interesting to expand that even further. If you're interested in the work I'm doing with my startup and potentially how you can invest in it, then please head on over to smartift.com, the link below in the description. But today, we're going to look at mining. Mining is probably the thing most people have heard about. People talk about mining Bitcoins, mining Ethereum, and those who've spent a little time looking at it will have seen kind of the crazy setups that some people have for doing this. But what actually is mining and how do you go about doing it? In essence, mining is securing the network. So we talked about blockchains previously and how you build on the previous one. Well, that only works if everybody's all checking that everyone else is building on the same blockchain. Otherwise, what's to stop you having 100 different blockchains, each with different transactions in? And the idea is that as long as the majority of people are all working for the greater good, then everybody checks all of the blocks, make sure they all meet the rules, and everything's hunky-dory. You have a secure blockchain. And this is where miners come in. Miners are the ones that are constantly working on the network. Their job is to make sure that all the blocks that come in are valid, they publish new blocks that are valid, and they keep the network running. So that even if there are no transactions, they are pumping out blocks at a defined interval so that the network is running as expected and secure. Now, depending on the network, depends on what their rewards for securing the network are. The most commonly talked about ones from mining are basically you get coins. So you get Bitcoins, you get Ether, you get Doge, whatever you're mining. Most coins are called proof of work coins. Now I'm going to cover what proof of work and proof of stake and proof of capacity and proof of research maybe are in later videos. But the main thing is that you get coins. Now the proof of work ones tend to give you a lot of coins, so it's pretty much like digging for gold, and eventually you find a gold nugget. Other ones give you transaction fees, some of you give you interest, so it depends on the coin. But the idea is that as a miner you get special rewards, so you will suck up everyone else's transaction fees for that block, and you might also get a reward of an extra ton of coins for having done that block yourself. And depending on how you create that block and how you mine, we're going to cover in separate videos. But the idea is you do a bunch of work, you also secure the network, and you get rewarded with it in coins. So you make real world money because you've created this virtual currency which ultimately comes and pegs to real world currencies and exchanges. Now, there are various ways you can mine, and it depends on the coin you're looking at. But the key things are you've basically got three main types of mining. One is using your CPU, one is using your GPU, so your graphics card, and one is using dedicated hardware that just does mining and nothing else. Now, you can also do hard disk mining and some other ones that we'll cover later. CPU mining isn't really used anymore because the overwhelming majority of coins have algorithms that make CPU mining very slow, so you're unlikely to ever make any money off it, or unlikely to ever even secure a block or find it. You're just going to be churning away doing nothing because everyone else is working so much quicker than you. Several coins still work with GPUs, which is your graphics cards, and a bunch of them, particularly Bitcoin, have got to the point that the algorithms for trying to do mining have been improved on so much that you can now buy special hardware that only does Bitcoin mining and nothing else. And that's called an ASIC, which is basically a special integrated circuit that has a single purpose. And the general idea with mining is that the more power you've got to throw at it, so if you think about it in just simple, for now, CPU terms, the faster your processor, the more mining you'll be able to do. Likewise, the faster your graphics card and the more graphics cards you have, the more chance you'd have of being successful at finding gold and digging that nugget out. Likewise, if you've got an ASIC, the more and faster ASIC miners you have, the higher your chance of winning. So the general consensus is the more mining speed you have, the quicker you will find it, and if you find that block before everyone else, you win it. Therefore, you make more money. So the more you spend on hardware, theoretically, the more you get in returns. There's then two choices. One is to do pooled mining, where you and a bunch of other people all set off and do your mining by yourselves, and then whoever finds it first, you share that amongst absolutely everyone. Now, the other option is solo mining. Depending on your hardware, your specification, how fast you can mine, depends on what makes more sense to do. Most people do pooled mining because the amount of mining power that they have is tiny and it's not going to find a block by themselves. But by doing it with other people, you aggregate the averages over time and you see a steady return coming in. Solo mining, if you've got a warehouse full of mining equipment, you've probably got enough power to do it by yourself. So you can do it by yourself and all the rewards go to you then. And you'll be crazy rich because if you do find a block on Bitcoin, 50 Bitcoins at $2,500 a pop, that's a lot of money. There we are. That is a quick summary of mining. I know it doesn't go through the technical details of how to set it up and do it, but I'm trying to do an overview of all the different things. In the next 3 videos, I'm going to look at 3 different types of way that you can get coin. One is called proof of stake, one is called proof of work, and one is called proof of capacity. And these are all the different ways that you can prove you are securing the network. And so over the next few videos, I'll be covering those to give a bit more detail on mining. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, thumbs up it. Don't forget to check me out on Twitter at GuyRobotTV and my blog at GuyRobot.tv. And please also take a look over at my blockchain startup at smartift.com. Thanks.